But first, Eyewitness News with an exclusive Campaign 2012 poll, the Democratic race for the U.S. House District 1 seat.
Our exclusive Eyewitness News poll indicates first-term incumbent Congressman David Cicilline has tripled his lead over his top challenger, Anthony Gemma, since our last poll.
Survey involves a random sample of voters likely to cast ballots in the September Democratic primary. Cicilline now has a 12% lead over Anthony Gemma, making tomorrow night's debate critical for both candidates.
Let's get right to Target 12 investigator Walt Buteau, who has the details behind the numbers.
Our political analyst points out that the poll in May was good news for Anthony Gemma, but this one might be just the opposite, with some bad news for David Cicilline mixed in as well. David Cicilline's double-digit lead comes 3 months after an Eyewitness News poll pointed toward a close primary. More than 43% of those polled now favor the incumbent, up by about 3% since May. Just over 31% would vote for Anthony Gemma, down by almost 5%. 4% would vote for Chris Young, while 17% remain undecided.
Obviously, I'm happy that we're moving in the right direction, but I can guarantee you that I will continue to work 18 hours a day as if I'm 10 points behind.
And there's plenty of time, by the way. This certainly is more of a marathon than a sprint. People have to get to know me a little bit more, and they're going to start to zero and tune in onto this race.
The poll also reveals there are thorns to go with the roses for the first-term incumbent, whose job approval rating improved from May, but remains less than positive. More than 52% call Cicilline's performance in Congress fair or poor. That number was just over 61% in May.
Well, I think moving forward,
Political analyst Joe Fleming wonders why Gemma is not hammering away at another Cicilline weak spot uncovered by his poll. We asked how important Providence's finances are in the election. Almost 79% say the Capitol's money issues are very to somewhat important. Fleming expects to hear more about that in the Eyewitness News debate.
Up to this point, Anthony Gemma really hasn't talked much about the city of Providence. I would assume he'll be addressing that tomorrow night. I'll assume he'll be addressing his voter fraud issue again tomorrow night.
Regarding Gemma's allegations of voter fraud, according to our poll, almost 64% are very to somewhat confident Rhode Island elections are fair and honest.
And I formally requested.
Our polling was completed before Gemma's news conference about the investigation that he paid for into what he claims is voter fraud by Cicilline campaign staff members.
David Cicilline is not the right man for the job. He's not honorable, and he's not an honest man for Rhode Island.
I think it was a really outrageous political stunt, to make an allegation that was completely untrue and then promise to present evidence to support it and not.
So I don't know how you can listen to anything that David Cicilline says in the debate tomorrow and take it as truth, because he lies, and he lies with a straight face.
I think people saw it for what it was, a political stunt, and this is a serious election with big consequences.
Coming up tonight at 11, we'll take a look at what the poll says about which one of these two Democratic candidates has the best chance against GOP candidate Brendan Doherty in the November general election. Walt Buteau, Eyewitness News.